Very heavy rainfall tomorrow as well across Tamil Nadu. The impact is expected to rise. Led to a rise in waterlogging cases, uprooting of trees and in the river levels as well. Boats have been deployed in Chennai for rescue operations. This is the heaviest rain Chennai has seen since the 2015 floods. Agra now the most polluted city in the country today. 7 most polluted cities in UP, 3 in Haryana. Delhi goes to the very poor category in air, but toxic form seen in Yamuna as Chhath Puja begins. India's biggest ever IPO, Paytm, debuts today. From skipping meals to 18,300 crore IPO in just a decade. Vijay Shekhar Sharma now dancing all the way. Fake invoices, kickbacks between 2007 to 2012. French media portal reveals new details. French website says CBI ignored complaints in 2018. Security increased at Mukesh Ambani's house. Taxi driver calls the police over suspicious passenger. Cab driver claims passenger asked to go to Antilia. Late BJP stalwarts honoured at the Padma Awards. Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, Josh Fernandez, Mr. Parakar, all of them given the award. Anand Mahindra, Sindhu, Karan Johar, Adnan Sami, Kangana Ranaut amongst the others. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. 4 rain-related deaths have taken place in Tamil Nadu now. 263 70 houses have been damaged. Very heavy rainfall is suspected tomorrow as well. This is what the Met Department is saying. Remember, schools were shut today and will be shut tomorrow as well. Boats have been deployed for rescue work. This is the worst and the heaviest rain Chennai has seen since the 2015 floods.
Chennai streets turned into canals, even in the Chief Minister's constituency. The Thompsons had to shift their elderly uncle on the ground floor. Residents say authorities have learnt no lessons since the devastating 2015 flood.
In 2015, it was a very big flood, and the government should have improved in due time. It is almost 6 years. They should have improved the infrastructure.
The 21 centimeter rain the city received is 4 centimeters less than the horrendous flood of 2015. But authorities say lessons learned from then have saved Chennai now and helped waters recede quickly. Stormwater drains desilted 3 months early. Trees pruned. A 5,000 crore project has connected many extension areas to the drains network. As a result, Chennai's 300 chronic inundation hotspots are down to just 60 now.
Water has surrounded their houses.
The discharge from the biggest lake, Chembarambakam, is gradual now, unlike the sudden excessive release 5 years ago.
The change is that the speed with which water has receded because of the break in the rain in the night has enabled the water to recede quickly. So the challenge before us is to ensure that in the aftermath of the rains the water level reduces.
For the common man though, the nightmare continues.
Authorities say but for their preparedness, Chennai would have seen a repeat of the devastation by 2015 floods that flooded more than 4 lakh homes. Well, that's a huge relief so far. With Met forecasting heavy rains, the next few days will be an acid test for lessons learned. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
So good luck to Tamil Nadu as it battles out that rain. Meanwhile, good luck needed really in all of North India as pollution continues to take over city after city. It's not just Delhi NCR. Guess which city was the most polluted in India today? It was Agra. In fact, 7 of the most polluted cities in the country are in UP. 3 are in Haryana. Delhi, however, remained in the very poor category. In fact, there's a slight improvement in air. But look what is taking over Yamuna. Toxic foam, this as the dip during Chhath Puja has just begun.
Not just air pollution, now water pollution has visibly worsened in the capital. But the toxic foam hasn't deterred Chhath Puja devotees.
हानिकारक है?
नहीं, डर लगता।
अच्छा, क्योंकि
हम लोग गंगा मानते हैं।
अच्छा।
नहीं, हम लोग के नहीं होता, भगवान के नाम से नहीं होता।
The air pollution remains bad, even though the AQI levels have dipped slightly from the 400 severe mark to under 400, still in the very poor category.
साथ में जो स्मॉग बढ़ता है फेस्टिवल्स की वजह से आंखों पे सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्ट पड़ता है, ऊपर से ब्रीथ में काफी सबसे प्रॉब्लम होती है। हम दूर से आते हैं, ऊपर से चलना भी पड़ता है काफी, बस स्टैंड से लेके स्कूल तक जाना पड़ता है।
These fires in Punjab and Haryana are contributing roughly a third of the main air pollutant PM 2.5. But year after year, governments of all parties at the centre and state have failed to stop them.
Air pollution every year kills more people than corona does.
However, the political blame game over air and water pollution continues.
पंजाब से सबसे ज्यादा अपराली जलने घटनाएं आ रही हैं, उसके बाद हरियाणा और उत्तर प्रदेश। जमुना में जो पानी आता है वो दिल्ली से नहीं आता, हरियाणा से आता है। हरियाणा से जहरीला पानी छोड़ा गया, जहां भाजपा की सरकार है।
पहली बार जब बने थे अरविंद केजरीवाल तभी बोला है और लगभग हर चैनल को बोला है कि हम अभी अभी आए हैं, लेकिन 5 साल दीजिए, जमुना में हम सबके साथ खुद डुबकी लगाएंगे। आइए डुबकी लगाइए ना अरविंद केजरीवाल।
First air, now water pollution has plagued the national capital. Authorities must put in place a stern action plan before another health emergency is announced. With Mohammad Mursalin in Delhi, Shunakshi Chakrabarti, NDTV.
India's biggest ever IPO, Paytm, debuted today, and from skipping meals to now, in just a decade, having a 18,300 crore IPO. Vijay Shekhar Sharma is quite the story of India today. And of course, he's now dancing all the way.
मेरे पास पैसा नहीं, पेटीएम कर दो। पैसा नहीं तो पेटीएम कर दो।
This tagline remains a popular catchphrase. It symbolizes the rapid growth of Paytm, led by founder and CEO Vijay Shekhar Sharma in just over a decade. From the time when he says he skipped meals to save money to leading India's biggest IPO so far, 18,300 crore rupees, which opened today. Coming from a humble background in Aligarh, Vijay taught himself English with the help of rock songs and also learnt coding while building a digital payment network which today has 337 million users.
I come from a family where nobody has been in business. I was the black sheep identified, and at some point in time when I remember that my mother thought that because I couldn't get a job, that is why I'm trying to try a company there. And when I got married, which is a family arranged marriage, so my wife didn't even know that I'm a quote-unquote businessman. They thought that I work for a company.
Prayers and celebrations underway at Paytm as a fresh journey towards the stock market begins. Some of the world's richest individuals and firms have already invested and are encashing on this now. While day one subscription levels for the IPO closed at 0.18 times, the company itself paints a bleak picture for profit. We expect to continue to incur net losses for the foreseeable future, and we may not achieve or maintain profitability in the future, they say.
Our June financials, where we grew about 62% year on year in terms of revenue, and we are generating a significant amount of what we call contribution profit. And this year, just in the one quarter, just in the June quarter, we generated 245 crores of contribution profit.
Firstly, we don't know as to when they will show profits. Even the management is not too sure. With technology is changing so fast, there can be a possibility of a disruptor in this space, which could actually derail their prospects.
Even as financial concerns remain, the remarkable growth picture for Paytm reflects an exciting time for India's digital payment services sector. Sakshi Bajaj for NDTV.
Let them keep trying. And you?
Paytm karo.
Some breaking news coming in. Fire in a portion of children's ward of the Kamala Nehru Hospital in Bhopal has been reported, and sources at this point indicating that some children have suffered burnt injuries. Let's cut across to Anurag for the latest. Anurag, this sounds very, very troubling. What more do we know?
Yes, Sunal, a fire in a portion of Kamala Nehru Hospital in the pediatric ward, and as per sources, few children have also suffered burn injuries. The fire started at around 9:30. The cause of the fire still could not be ascertained, but fire brigade team and police officials have rushed to the spot and they have started the rescue operations. The Medical Education Minister Vishwas Sarang and the DIG of Bhopal, Irshad Wali, have also reached the spot. The team of doctors has been called to the hospital. So far, the administration is saying that no one is serious and all the children have been rescued from there. But our sources are telling us that few children have suffered burn injuries. Sonal,
do we know how old were these children? What is the extent of this of the burns here?
Yeah, this is PNCU ward. So most all the children were newborn babies, as of now we don't know the extent of burn, but our sources are telling us that few of the children have suffered burn injuries.
All right, Anurag, we'll let you get more details over there. Thanks so much for joining us. That's the latest coming in, and the worrying news from Bhopal, where a children's ward at the Kamala Nehru Hospital has caught fire. Less than 2 months after an outbreak of dengue and viral fever in western UP's Firozabad claimed multiple lives, mostly of children, there is now a fresh medical headache in the state. An outbreak of the Zika virus, this time in Kanpur. So far, a little less than 100 people are affected, but there is worry that these numbers could further explode and that those ill could manifest even severe symptoms, including a rare neurological disorder.
मैं जिलाधिकारी हूँ, अब चिंता करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, ठीक है। हम लोग आए इसलिए कि टेस्टिंग कराया गया था, तो उसमें उनका जीका में पॉजिटिव आया, तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है उसमें, फीवर टाइप का ही है, और जो सावधानी है वो हम आपको बता देंगे, आप लोगों को परेशान होने वाली कोई बात नहीं है, तो इसलिए हमारा टीम थोड़ा आकर के देखना चाहेंगे कि घर के अंदर कहीं पानी तो नहीं इकट्ठा है, ठीक है, तो आ जाए हम लोग।
Officials in Uttar Pradesh's Kanpur racing to contain a Zika virus outbreak, the first ever in one of Uttar Pradesh's largest cities. So far, close to 100 people have been affected in about 3 weeks. This includes 17 children and 1 pregnant woman. The virus is transmitted by Aedes aegypti mosquitoes that breed in stagnant water and are also carriers of dengue and chikungunya. 80% infected people do not show any symptoms. Some get fever or body ache. But in severe cases, the virus can cause birth defects and a condition where the immune system attacks the patient's nerves. The Kanpur administration says mass testing is being organized in localities where cases have turned up, including near this home where an Indian Air Force corporal has contracted the virus.
वैसे हम लोग यहाँ पर जो है वो मच्छर वगैरह का जो है छिड़काव किया करते हैं, और अभी तो जो है 2 दिन से जो है स्वास्थ्य टीम भी यहाँ पर आई है और जो भी अगल बगल की गंदगी है, जो भी छिड़काव है वो कर रहे हैं।
A dedicated Zika virus ward has been set up at this government hospital in Kanpur. But some good news. It is empty because there have been no severe cases so far. However, there is worry the situation could worsen.
प्रत्येक पॉजिटिव केस को हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट के आरआरटी टीम के द्वारा घर घर जा करके उनका विजिट करके उनका वाइटल्स लिया जा रहा है। ICCC में जीका कंट्रोल रूम की स्थापना की गई है, जिनके द्वारा सुबह और शाम जीका पॉजिटिव पेशेंट से टेलीफोन के माध्यम से बातचीत की जा रही है और उनके वाइटल्स की मॉनिटरिंग की जा रही है। जीका के रोकथाम हेतु आप सब लोगों से अपेक्षा है कि घर के अंदर साफ पानी एकत्रित ना होने दें, मच्छरदानी का प्रयोग अवश्य करें।
While the Zika virus outbreak appears to be limited to a few localities in Kanpur so far, another worry for the government. Kannauj, a town about 90 kilometers away, has also reported 1 case, leading to worries that the disease could spread. With Arun Agarwal and camera person Vineet Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Businessmen Sushil Ansal and Gopal Ansal have been sentenced to 7 years in jail for tampering with evidence linked to the fire in Delhi's Uphaar theatre in 1997 that killed 59 people. After almost 25 years over there is finally justice coming in for the families. A man in Srinagar at a shop owned by a Kashmiri Pandit was killed when terrorists opened fire at the store in Jammu and Kashmir's Srinagar today. This was a second targeted killing after a policeman was also shot dead by terrorists on just this Sunday. Soon after the shooting, the man identified as Mohammed Ibrahim was rushed to the hospital in a critical condition but was declared dead. He was a salesperson at the shop and a resident of Bandipur district. The shop was reopened in early 2019 after being closed for almost 29 years. It was much celebrated there. Yet another targeted killing in the region. Nazir has more.
Innocent people being killed in this brutal targeted attacks, where innocent people are being killed. For last 1 month, we have seen several attacks, targeted attacks. Last month, 11 civilians, mostly migrant workers and members from the minority community have been killed. And this evening, there was attack, firing at a shop which is owned by Kashmiri Pandit, where his salesman Mohammed Ibrahim was killed. Clearly a targeted attack, whether it was the Kashmiri Pandit who was not here at the shop and at the time of attack, and it is that salesman Mohammed Ibrahim who had, who was killed there. Yesterday, a local policeman from Bhopal, Srinagar, was killed, and he was shot from point blank. This condemnation every time, every political leader, they strongly condemn these incidents, but police also say they are going to do this, and they have killed so many militants, in fact, killed those involved into these killings, target attacks, but yet again we see these things happening. Last month when there were a series of attacks, the police actually launched a massive crackdown and around 900 people were detained for their suspicious links with the separates. And also police said there have been 11 encounters in which 17 militants were killed, in which some of them were involved into these targeted killings. Yet we see these targeted attacks, particularly in Srinagar city, which is a huge worry. Second targeted attack in Srinagar this evening, an innocent man killed in this attack.
Troubling situation there indeed, but let's shift our focus now to the Padma Awards today conferred by the President, 219 awardees. Some of the names over there: Sushma Swaraj, several other leaders of the BJP, Arun Jaitley, then there was George Fernandez. Their family members, of course, took all these awards. Karan Johar was honoured with Padma Shri, singer Adnan Sami honoured with Padma Shri, PV Sindhu honoured with the Padma Bhushan, Rani Rampal awarded the Padma Shri. The Prime Minister met all the awardees and their families. Of course, Kangana Ranaut also on that list.
Shrimati Sushma Swaraj, Marnoprant, Lok Karya. Shri Arun Jaitley, Marnoprant, Lok Karya. Shri George Fernandez, Marnoprant, Lok Karya. Shri Karan Johar, Kala Cinema. Shri Adnan Sami Khan, Kala Gayan. Shri Anand Gopal Mahindra, Vyapar एवं उद्योग. कुमारी PV Sindhu, खेल बैडमिंटन. सुश्री रानी, खेल हॉकी. Shri General Uphaar